जिसके लिए मशहूर एक्ट्रेस प्रिया प्रकाश वारियर को इस कैंपेन का ब्रांड एम्बेसडर बनाया जा रहा है।
Trapped.zone is a platform which will help you stay safe on social media.
और अब प्रिया प्रकाश वारियर बनेगी साइबर वॉरियर।
To know more about it, please log in to Trapped.zone.
Thank you. And getting on next, we do have Priya Prakash. Warrior, if you please come, and I'll invite her on stage to come and speak a few words.
A very good afternoon to everybody. I really don't have a speech prepared or anything, but I feel honored to be associated with Skill India, to be the brand ambassador of this cyber awareness campaign, because it is actually very personal to me, because all these years, whatever traction I have got in life, whatever recognition I've got in life is because of the power of the internet and social media. So it's very personal to me, and I've been personally a victim to cyber harassment, bullying, and whatnot, because it's a part of my profession to go through trolling and memes and everything on an everyday basis. So it's very personal to me. So I'm really honored to be here and glad that I'm a part of this campaign. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you everybody for taking your time out and being here today. I'm looking forward to the very insightful session. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Priya. And as she said, this is a campaign which is being launched today, but it needs to become a moment after we leave this place today, because we all need to do our part in making and doing the awareness around this. Next, we have on dais, who's going to be our next speaker, is Ms. Josna Minocha, who is the program head for future skills at NASCOM, and she has 20 plus years of global experience in the United States, Japan, Saudi, India with GE, Genpact, NASCOM, and accelerating talent transformation and with future skills, and not just, and managing with over 3,000 employees. So without much delay, I would like to invite Ms. Josna to come and speak.
Thank you very much for the introduction. I just want to begin by saying that I feel overshadowed by the speakers that are there on the panel, but I'll make a humble attempt to throw light at a topic itself which was given to me, which has the word dark in it. Dark web along with online crime and how it is dangerous for net users. It is dangerous. I think we all know that. We saw the video. But I want to talk about is what, how, and the way forward. And specifically, how does it impact girls? So I just want to talk about mobile usage of India. How many of you in this room does not have a mobile phone? Any raise of hand? So a few years ago, the question would have been opposite. How many of you have a mobile phone? So with the mobile phone usage that we all know is increasing, more than 500 million people, 648 million people as of January this year have mobile. And I'm sure most of you have more than 10 apps on your phone. So what does it mean is that we can surf the web at our wish and our fancy whenever we want, however we want. But what that's leading to is obviously the more the digitization, the more the crime. Over the last 2 years, we've seen that, Aminder talked about 50 million crime cases, which used to be actually 26 million in two years ago. So what that means is pandemic actually doubled the effect. The crime rate has actually gone up almost double in pandemic. So, what has happened is, I call it crime gone digital. So we did see crime, but now it's gone digital. So let me talk a little bit about deep and dark web. The train analogy was very nice, Aminder, but I'll talk about what does it mean and how does it how do young girls and women especially become victim of this? So in the modern era, we know that mostly people surf what we all know as WWW, which is called World Wide Web. We all go and surf the internet, but that is the surface, which is actually only 4% of what we are able to see on the internet, because these are all indexed, these are all linked to IP addresses. But when you go deeper, and that's the area which is called deep web and dark web, where it's completely anonymous. One cannot be linked to its identity and cannot trace who actually is there on the deep web and dark web doing the transactions. So dark web is basically a part of deep web, but it is intentionally kept hidden. It deals with legal and illegal data, and that can be accessed only specific to specific browsers that you would hear, such as Tor, the onion ring, because this has layers and layers of encryption in it. That's why the name onion. So I'm sorry, I don't want to start an education session here, but I just want to talk a little bit about what the deep web, dark web, and what impact it has on lives. So just know that if your data was leaked, or if there was a cybercrime, your financial statements, you lost your money in cybercrime, it was happening most likely on dark web. So after all, it's your data, and without your approval, it's being sold. That's dark web for you. So let me take your attention with an example in context of girls and talk about the way forward and how we solve for this. So young individuals, especially aged 12 to 24, spend a lot of time, as we all know. Angel talked about it. Many young girls, can relate to it. Facebook, Instagram, where 97.2 million and 69 million users in that age group of 12 to 24 alone are clearly showing dependency on social media. Now, what does that lead to is teenager girls spend a lot of their time on social media, cyberbullying. You talked about being a victim, Priya, yourself, of cyberbullying appeared to be very dangerous to girls, and especially very harming in their emotional, mental well-being, etc. So 15% of the girls in the age of 12 to 17 today are being cyberbullied. Believe it or not, 44% of internet users in US today have experienced online harassment. So that is cyber crime for you. Now let me give an example of how do things go wrong? I mean, we talk about dark web, we talk about being victim or having committed, somebody commits a mistake. How does it happen? So let me give you an example of females. As females, we're very passionate, we love to shop, especially young girls. We go on websites, we look at a link, and the look, it seems to have some very nice fashion images. We look at heavy discounts, we click on it, and you don't know what you're clicking sometimes because you're not verifying it. Now, hackers are looking for those kind of things. Hackers will collect that information in large quantities and large amounts. They will export they get to know your password, their password, and export your private messages, personal messages, videos, pictures, and even go to the extent of morphing those and putting it on the dark web. What that does is it's selling your information in bulk in dark web for some money, some price. So that's dark web. Now, what it is leading to misuse for normal people, I just talk in very simple words. It can lead to labor trafficking, human trafficking, pornography, and whatnot. I mean, it's just limitless dark world out there. So I just want to talk about, yes, with crime gone digital awareness and skilling is the mission critical priority for India. So I talk about what's the way forward. I mean, if we are not trained, if we are not skilled, if we are not aware how to deal with it, we are going to continue to talk about it in these forums. So number one, awareness. We have programs like this, and thank you for conducting this, is actually just to build awareness. Second, skilling. As NASCOM, I can say that we've done a survey recently, where we know that if we don't have 180,000 cybersecurity skill resources by 2022, we are in a dump. So we do need, there's a massive demand for skilling, not just in universities, not just in government, not just in police departments, academia, everywhere. So there is a need for training, there's need for awareness. As ITS, I do want to say that, as a Sector Skills Council of NSDC, as well as, government has invested a lot of money on Future Skills Prime. It's a program which is meant for anybody and everybody to go and consume courses, learn about cybersecurity, learn about other technologies as well, and really understand what digitization is doing today. Now, whether it is access management, identity access management, cybersecurity vulnerability, things like that. So I would encourage you to go explore the Future Skills Prime and see what you can do to be aware on cybersecurity or to go understand foundational and deeper level of cybersecurity. Lastly, I do want to say, as NASCOM, we have training and research centers that are being set up that are specifically designed to train and do some research with the police officers. How do they get more and more skills in dealing with such cases and dealing with such crimes? Lastly, resources such as Crop Connect, these are police and law enforcement resources for lawyers, for enforcement agencies, etc. To be able to get somebody who's an expert to advise on how to handle a particular case in cybersecurity. So that's, I think, an overview I just wanted to give from the context of IT world and digital world and how, I think skilling is the only way forward to solve for some of this. So I'd like to end by saying, be aware, be safe, be conscious, and get skilled. Thank you.
Thank you, Jyotsna, for the insightful words. And, it's really important for all of us to be educated and on what dark web is, how information can be leaked, how information can be used against you. And it's just not for, we see it a lot on the morality side of things, but it's actually a lot on the financial side, also a lot on the national security side. And as I was talking with the next speaker sitting backstage, that we are as secure or as strong as the weakest link. And so we need to be important so that we don't become the weakest link. And skilling is so important, because I travel the world and work around the world, and it's the proportion of formally skilled workers in India is extremely low. And I'm quoting this from the Financial Express, that India has only a 4.69% of total workforce compared to 24% in China, 52% in the US, 68% in UK, 75% in Germany, and 96% in South Korea. So there's a long way we need to go. And so what we're doing right now is a great effort, and especially as digitalization happens, security just becomes so much more important. And as I invite the next speaker, it gives me a great joy of introducing Mrs. Shrestha Gupta, who is the head of IT and digital services at NSDC, is known for her implementation of the population IT and digital skilling solutions, including Skill India's platforms, SIP, and the National Apprenticeship Platform. And she has 15 plus years of experience in digitalization and in this field, and has worked across the globe with multiple companies and has won a lot of accolades at NSDC. So it's a great honor to introduce the next speaker. Please.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. It is an absolute honor to speak in presence of all of us today, and such an important topic which we're trying to spread awareness on. I would start with a fact that when I was growing, I was a teen, there were mostly people who were smart, right? But now when I see the young generation who are teens right now, they are smart. But then there's another thing which they hold, which is also as smart, right? As in a device which we carry is equally smart as we are, right? We are actually running a race that who is more smarter, it's us or those devices which we carry. And I think that is where, I want to start with that, is that human who is running a race with the digital devices to become who becomes the faster and the more prominent one. As a woman in technology, I see that, I had faced it, I personally know that how tough it is to keep learning, keep moving, and then establishing the position we reach here. And when we actually start our journey, there's many things as a woman which we really see in our lives which really takes us down. And one being the cyber crime, the cyber harassment. At every point of time, as a woman, when we grow, there's always power pulling you down in a way that how can a women in technology could really grow or could establish themselves, and one key prominent area is a cyber crime, right? I want to talk about the story which all of us has heard as we were growing, the great Ramayana, right? Wherein Sita ji was instructed by Lakshman that there's a Lakshman Rekha which you should not breach. There's a very simple instruction given by Lakshman to Sita ji that you should not breach this Lakshman Rekha until he comes back. But Sita ji breached that Lakshman Rekha, and rest we all know, the entire great Ramayana. Why this is important? Because in our daily lives, I think we would look ourselves as the Sitas, and then those Lakshman Rekha which has been drawn, and then there's a Ravan which we would probably call as the cyberbullying or the cyber hackers. We know where there's a Rekha, but then despite of knowing it, we breach it, right? Does that mean Sita ji didn't know? It's a very clear instruction not to breach, that's fine, but she did it. Why do you think that should have happened? That a simple thing, she couldn't really, understand, and she had done it. I think this is which we're trying to understand, where we should draw that line, what to do, what not to do, and how to save ourselves in today's, the cybercrime situation which we are in. Let's talk about some facts which all of us have spoken about so far, that the cybercrime is increasing. Yes, it is increasing. If you see in last 3 years, in 2018, we were in almost 2 lakh cases a year, and now while we're speaking in 2022, it has raised almost from 2 lakhs a year to 14 lakhs a year. And in January, February itself, we have seen almost 2 lakh cases in those 2 months, which means that we are every day, there are almost 3,500 cyber crimes happening. This is shocking because all of us, we feel that we're educated, we know everything. There's nothing new. Cybercrime, itna hi to karna hai ki mobile ka password kisi ko nahi dena hai. There's a few things which we know, but despite of knowing everything, this is happening. And why is it happening is something which probably we're trying to clarify today. I think there are series, and especially thanks to the team here that we are doing this. We are getting opportunity to speak about such important topic, which actually is going to trouble a lot of teens, especially women, and harassing them day and night on these situations. I have a twin, and I want to show how my twin look like. It's this, and I call it as a digital twin because what is that this twin doesn't know? What time do I get up? What time do I go to sleep? What is that, what is that I'm feeling like? When do I need to take a cab? What do I want to eat? What do I want to shop? My BP, my heart rate, my periods, everything is that this mobile phone knows. Why do I not call it a twin, right? And so as you might have more twins than I do, right? So, is it bad to have a twin? I'm not saying that, but then we should know where the boundaries are. I think technology coming up, it's really, it's a blessing because all of us are living at an age where technology is transforming. We are living at an age where 5G is coming, IoT coming, blockchain coming, and yet We're talking about how to use and why to use and how to limit the technology is something which we should focus on. It's a fact that in my age, we never had mobile phones. We were, there were landlines and comparatively, we were secured, not on the cyber crimes. There were other crimes, but then not cyber crimes at that point of time. But then it is shocking to know that every school-going teen this time has a mobile phone. And we as a parent, we offer to give them a mobile phone. Why? Because it's safe. We want to stay connected. We want them to learn through mobile phones, through the devices. It's not bad. But then having a mobile phone and not knowing the complexity at such a vulnerable stage, that what could be the implications of having a mobile phone by not doing following. There are certain thumb rules, and by the way, I will not speak any of these do's and don'ts which we don't know. Frankly, all of us know about it, but then I would want to reiterate this so that it's not just knowing, it is about how do you implement it. And it's my humble request that when you go back home, please relook to your devices and see how do you want to have them operated so that they are safer for you and they minimize the risk of you being threatened by the cyber bullies. Complex passwords, it's not tough. Every site teaches us how to really put a complex password. In fact, we get irritated that word dalu, shabd dalu, akshar dalu, special character dalu, kya dalu. But then it's important, and we should. There are few set of passwords which we really keep. Since we started using internet, we keep on using the same passwords in certain combinations, etc. And by the way, these passwords, and it's somewhere in our unconscious mind, we kind of use those words a lot, and that is where people try to understand the patterns you really use, right? So please try using a complex password, keep changing them repeatedly. It is very important that we really update our devices. When I get an update and alert, I'm in the middle of something important, I really get irritated. काम करो कि device update करो, right? But then it is important that our devices are very much updated. All the updates of the iOSs which you use should get updated as soon as you get it. It's important because these devices tend to cross the limit which they are really supposed to be in. Password sharing. Now this is very sensitive because I have studied in hostel and I have my friends who daughters there and people at teen especially are very much prone towards falling into relationship, right? And at times, the relationship is categorized or probably, a partner demands to have a password shared because that is how it is looked up to, fulfilling the need of the partner, right? But it's not the case. I do not share my password even with my husband. That's as clear as that. Password is something which belongs to you. So please, to prove your relationship, do not share your passwords. And I really mean it, that this could be one of the dangerous things which could happen, that sharing password could be the most dangerous thing which can happen to you. So please do not share your passwords. Do not leave your digital footprints. If you're using any device, to your friend's device or the cyber places or anywhere, please do not leave your your digital footprints. There's a very famous case which happened with Miss, which is named as Miss Teen, and it happened in USA, wherein she was at home, the place where we all feel safe, and her laptop was kept in her bedroom, and it was a daily, a regular, your personal affairs, and she was there. And while she was changing her clothes, her laptop was compromised. The camera was in open situation. The laptop was in open situation. The camera was hacked, and then she was captured in and out, right? And then she was harassed. She was harassed to the extent that she was mentally, financially, physically, she was harassed to the extent. How difficult it is to just understand that laptops does not belong to your bedrooms. Laptop belongs to your workplace. Even if there's a situation where you have to take it to the rooms, please make sure that you cover the cameras of your laptop. It's very much important. The apps, we have so many apps. I mean, we love apps, right? Just look at your phone, the apps which you have not used from last 48 hours or say 72 hours, please go and uninstall them. You don't need them. Please don't keep all these apps, they're useless. When you need it, please install it, and otherwise just keep them off. This is personal which I'm going to speak, which is the pictures which in relationship people demand to share their personal pictures, which you do not, right? The thumb rule is if you cannot share a picture on social media yourself, you should not share that picture with anybody. There's a dear friend when I was in college. She was in a relationship. She shared a picture to her partner, and then she had to go through a very, very traumatic situation. She was asked to compromise with a friend, and then to his friend, and to his friend, and it was a chain. It was a big case then, and then it was a really, really bad situation. I mean, it's a literally extortion situation for her. And she's out now. She's out of that emotional imbalance situation, but she has a lot of mental peace, financial instability, a lot of intellectual capabilities. Because when women get into that situation, I can tell you it's really devastating. So please do not share your pictures, whatever it is, whoever it is. If you cannot share it on social media, please do not share it. OTP sharing, I think we know that it's everybody talks about it. OTP sharing actually. Despite of that, we see. I mean, we start to talk about it. We share OTP, right? There's a funny story that 2 years back, my CA's office called me and said that, ma'am, एक OTP आया होगा, please दे दीजिए. I said, what are you talking? कौन हो तुम? Why will I give my OTP to you? And it's like I had an argument with that person. He said, तुम सब चोर हो. Then my CA had to call and I said, ma'am, please OTP दे दो. So all I'm saying is that, even despite of knowing the fact that you know this person and you might know him, and he's asking or she's asking for the reason, please inquire about it. First thumb rule is don't share it. If it has to be, please inquire about it and stay aware about the fact that why do you want to share it. There's so many lists I can talk about it, but then it is important that you stay aware about the fact that why this is important, because it really impacts you personally, as a family, and as a society. It really impacts everybody if such compromises happen. It meant to, I mean, it happens. I mean, despite of doing everything, all these things happen. But then if it happens, please talk to family, please talk to your, the cyber side. Do talk about it, because it happens, I mean, and the challenge is every person, in whatever sense, goes through this, be it cyberbullying, be it any other situation. I mean, I can talk on and on about it, but then it is important that you talk about it. If we will not talk as individuals who have grown, I think the team which is coming, the generation which is coming behind, will never speak about it. So please talk about it. Just before we wrap up, I want to throw one more facts here that there was an article which was published a couple of years back, which reads, when will AI exceed human performance? I mean, this question is very challenging, because would there be a situation that AI will take on us as a human intelligence? And very elite researchers has answered this in the AI intelligence side. They predicted that human level machine intelligence, or we call it as HLMI, has 50% chances of having this or occurring this within next 45 years. The challenging fact, it said, is that there are almost 10% chances that it happens in next 9 years, which means that we might see it while we are growing further, right? AI can take over us. So, just taking you back with the fact where it started, that almost 3,500 cases a day, and if you calculate, it is almost 145 cases every hour, and then further turning it down, almost 2.5 cases every minute. I probably spoke for 5 minutes, so just do the calculation that this has already happened, or it probably people are thinking about it to doing it. So how important it is to know what to do and what not to do. It's a very basic I don't think so. It's a science which you need a technology. It's just an awareness. Something which belongs to you should belongs to you, should not go out of it. Just leaving you with one small thought that, as a good citizen, while we are being aware, we should ensure that we should not also trap somebody else into such situation. I mean, it's very disturbing when people leave such nasty comments online, troll. I mean, Priya, you would relate to this, that, it's not great. It's not really a happy feeling for somebody who is trying to do in their lives, and then you're talking about bullying messages. I think we should think about it as a responsible citizen. By the way, this is cyber bullying is a punishable offense, but leaving with a thought that while we should not get trapped under cyber situation, we should also not get somebody trapped in that situation. Thank you. That was my bit. This is Shrestha.
Thank you, Shrestha, for the wealth of information. And I hope that we are all leading much more educated on cyber awareness and cyber crime and trolling and all of these things. Are we having a good time? Are we getting some knowledge out of this? Yes. Can we give a big round of applause to our amazing speakers? And before I call upon our chief guest and the last speaker for today, Mr. Rajesh Agarwal, who is the Secretary for Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, I would like to call upon the members from our VOWS team to please come on stage as we facilitate Ms. Priya Prakash Warrior on becoming our brand ambassador for this campaign. So can please Mr. Pradeep Rana, Reverend George Masi, Angel, please come on stage. Rajesh, and as Mr. Agarwal gives his memento to Ms. Warrior.
आधे सब लोग साथ में इधर लाइव जा रहा है वीडियो नहीं बना रहा मैं जा रहा हूँ
Now it is a great honor for me to introduce our next speaker, who is our chief guest, Mr. Rajesh Agarwal, as I said, Secretary, Ministry of Government of India, Ministry of Skill and Development and Entrepreneurship. After his BTech in Computer Science from IIT, he joined the IAS in 1989, and he has been effectively working in a lot of huge databases as a citizenship database, and has been involved in a lot of e-governance projects, and the whole list goes on and on and on. It's a pleasure to have. Please, let's give a standing ovation to our chief guest, Mr. Agarwal.
I don't have a ready-made speech, but I'm happy to be here, and I must express appreciation for Priya ji to be associated with Skill India and with the master of a campaign against cyber crimes. And we all heard various speakers that it's very important these days. And since morning there was discussion on higher education and skills. And I saw the speaker list. So 50 plus थे. 3-4 महीने पहले मैंने दुबई का एक यूथ कोई इवेंट था बीसी से अटैच किया तो यूथ अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड ने सेट की पेरेंट्स ने टीचर्स ने सब पूरी जनरेशन है हमारी जिंदगी पर बात कर रहे हैं they do not understand what we need. So my request is in any education skill events we must also listen to children. जिनके लिए हम कुछ करना चाहते हैं. So I was very happy when Angel bravely stood up and spoke on behalf of mom. So children these days are very confident, and we need to listen to their voices, and also we need to protect them from bad animals. Shrestha gives some very practical examples. चाणक्य नीति कई लोगों ने पढ़ी होगी। चाणक्य ने 2000 साल पहले कहा था, प्रश्न पूछा था कि which is the best place to hide a spy? Any answers? Correct answer is right before your eyes. और आजकल आइज के सामने क्या होता है सबके? So this is the biggest spy. So this is camera, this is mic, this is 5 sensors if it is an iPhone, it is Samsung, it has 10 sensors. इसको ये भी पता है आप क्या बोल रहे हो, क्या देख रहे हो, ये आपको दिख सकता है, आप सो रहे हो, जाग रहे हो, भाग रहे हो, वो भी इसके जायरोस्कोप को पता है. So it knows about you. And we are surrounded by sensors not only through mobile, through laptops, through desktops, through Alexa at our home. She is always listening to you. Through your smart TVs, अब बेडरूम में टीवी लगा के बैठे हो जिससे कैमरा है. And Snowden leaks showed us that cameras and mics are switched on even when your device is physically switched off. Your mics and camera can be switched off. So 3-4 months ago, I opened Indian Express one day. On first page, एक लिस्ट थी कि Chinese are tracking a few politicians and bureaucrats. वो 200 of them, और मेरा नाम भी उसमें था. And all my batchmates on WhatsApp group to pull my leg, they said, "Congrats, Rajesh, congrats, Rajesh." So it's not a happy feeling when someone is tracking you. So internet sometimes brings you fame, lot of fame. Priya ji told her story, and it brings the bad elements also, the trolls and the much worse elements. So I have been lucky as IT Secretary Maharashtra to do some contribution to cyber prudence in the country. So I passed a few judgments, about 70 judgments, as adjudicating officer under ITR. And 2-3 were on privacy. There was one case, celebrated case, Madhurika Joshi case, and my judgment was upheld by Delhi High Court, so it's not a case law. And that says that in today's world, spouse cannot ask for the password. They cannot, your husband should not demand that कि अपना phone दिखाओ मैं last dial numbers दे दूँगा. It's intrusion into privacy. And we see privacy being violated in multiple ways. पहले लड़के बाथरूम की दीवारों पे, पब्लिक बाथरूम्स की दीवारों पे लड़कियों के नाम और नंबर लिख देते थे. On internet it goes global, so harassment goes global. So that's where it's very important कि हम हमारे पुलिस, हमारे कोर्ट्स वो बहुत जल्दी केसेस को रजिस्टर करें और जजमेंट जल्दी हो, पनिशमेंट जल्दी हो, उसमें बहुत कम है. हम स्किल्स की बात करते हैं तो हमारे पुलिस में और कोर्ट्स में और फोरेंसिक लैब्स में दैट इज वन एरिया वी नीड टू वर्क ऑन. आज के डेट में फाइनेंशियल जो क्राइम्स है, मनी साइफन थ्रू नेट फ्रॉड्स एंड ATM frauds and through extortion by bullying is much more than money siphoned off through physical beatings, robberies, chori, pickpocketing, dacoity, bank lootings, physical bank lootings. So cyber financial crime is now much more. ये बूढ़ों के साथ भी होता है, सबके साथ होता है. So one of my uncles who is now 80 plus and who actually served as a doctor in London long back. तो ऐसा नहीं कम पढ़े लिखे आदमी हैं, उनको साइबर क्रिमिनल से बुद्धू बना के कि आपकी कोई इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी एक्सपायर हो रही है, 6 लाख रुपए उनसे कैट लिए. वो मौसा जी दुखी तो हैं थोड़े से इस बात पे कि 6 लाख चले गए, ज़्यादा दुखी कि मौसी सबको बताती है कि बुद्धू बन गए. तो ऐसे बहुत सारे केसेस हैं और श्रेष्ठा ने कुछ प्रैक्टिकल टिप्स दिया कि वी शुड how to keep passwords, etc. In many cases where I gave judgments, I found that a lot of us rely on 2FA. हमें लगता है कि OTP आ गया तो बस मोबाइल तो हमारे हाथ में है कि लॉक भी है तो नुकसान नहीं होगा। कई ऐसे में मैंने देखा कि सिम का डुप्लीकेट लेना क्रिमिनल्स के लिए बहुत ईजी है। आपको पता भी नहीं चलता, जब आप सो रहे होते हो एक डुप्लीकेट सिम कार्ड बन जाता है कहीं पे, आपका मोबाइल बेसिकली लॉग आउट हो जाता है एंड थ्रू दैट सिम कार्ड दैट 2FA आप जीमेल पे भी जाओ, says forward password to 2FA's mobile number, उस पे OTP आएगा, you can change the password and so on. So one has to be careful on these. SMS messages आते हैं, देखते रहना चाहिए। अभी today these days ignore SMS messages. So आपका basically privacy intrusions, defamation, cyberbullying, cyber frauds, ये सब तो हो ही रहा है। तो last week I had actually very interesting discussions with one of the top cyber lawyers of the country. मैंने कहा तो interesting क्या सभी कौन सा है? He said अभी ये है कि मेटावर्स में किसी के अवतार को कोई ट्वीट कर चला गया। Actually it was much worse. It's actually a case of rape in a metaverse. An avatar of a female was raped in metaverse by an avatar of a male guy. These cases will increase. And our kids today are spending lives on mobiles. They will live a parallel life on metaverse also. So one has to be aware of how to take care of those aspects also. So our kids are very smart, but many of them are falling victims to these. So it's for the teachers, it's for the parents to give them an environment कि वे trust कर सकें। लड़की अपनी मम्मी से आके बात कर सके कि मम्मी ये हो गया। अब मम्मी एक बार गुस्सा होगी, पीट भी देगी तो कोई बात नहीं। उससे तो अच्छा है कि लड़की 6 महीने एक्सपोर्ट होती रहे। So in our families, in our teachers, and today we have lot of academia people available here, university vice chancellor, registrars, college principals. So it's for all of us to ensure that, to build that environment of trust, so our kids trust us and share with us. चाहे वो cyber bullying हो, चाहे कोई drug related चीज हो, now that's very common, and all of us have seen that in close families, or someone, a friend of our children has fallen prey to the drugs thing. So in any of these issues, we need to protect our kids. So I'm happy that we have events like these, and we have NGOs and academia and ministries coming together and getting very support from good support from people who connect to the youth. Our youth now listens to influencers, they listen to others, and I'm happy Priya is a good influencer with the youth, and she will spread this message of awareness. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Agarwal, for your kind words, and it's been a good afternoon of a lot of wealth of information, and we should all take this with us. We need to be careful, help our children to be safe. If you don't know the source of the apps, please delete them. Don't share your passwords. This is a gist what I'm bringing up today, so just let's remember that. And it's been an amazing afternoon, so thank you very much. I appreciate all the people in the dais who bring such insightful words. Can we give them a round of applause, please? And I will give it back to host.
Thank you, everyone. Before moving further, I would like to request Mr. Rajesh Agarwal to kindly present a few of our awards. So please. So the award name is Exemplary Contribution in IT and ITS Sector, and this award goes to IT and ITS Sector Skill Council, NASCOM. A big round of applause for NASCOM. Sports, Physical Education, Fitness and Leisure Space Council. Thank you very much, sir. And now I would like to request all the speakers to stand
वीडियो क्यों लगा रहा
group
है
picture.
क्लोज
थोड़ा क्लोज बोल दो सामने देखिए
And
सर
for citation, can we have the General Secretary FWA Shankar Sharma and Mr. Brijesh Srivastava from Aapki Baat, the DD National on stage, please. First of all, Mr. Rajesh Agarwal, Secretary MSDE. Thank you very much, sir, for being here and sharing your valuable views with us. A big round of applause for Mr. Rajesh Agarwal.
सर सामने देखिए सर
Our lovely moderator for the session, Mr. Abram Abhishek Kumar, CEO of Lasha Productions.
कहाँ जाने का यहाँ से
पीछे चले जाइए मैं उधर चले जाइए
Ms. Aminder Preet, the General Secretary, VOWS.
इधर देखिए हाथ दबाओ
Now, Ms. Priya Prakash Warrior, our brand ambassador and our
इधर देखिए सर
lovely
इधर देखिए सर
film actress. Ms. Jyotsna Minocha, program head, Future Skills at NASCOM.
सर इधर देखिए थैंक यू
Ms. Shrestha Gupta, senior head, IT and digital, NSDC.
सर साथ में आ जाइए जी
We
सर
have
थोड़ा सा
Dr.
क्लोज हो जाए
Presentation picture, sir.
सर तो और क्लोज आए सर थोड़ा सा क्लोज
And from FWA.
सर प्लीज थोड़ा सा
Thank you very much. And so I would like to be here and for the vote of thanks because the program is going to end. Yes, sir. First of all,
प्लीज कम
the whole end.